Hello and welcome to Connect and Collaborate. I'm Alex Hopkins, your on-air producer, and I really hope everyone has a super fun and safe holiday this week. But I figure it is time for a Colorado Business Roundtable update, and to do that with me here is Jeff Wasden, president of COBRT. How are you, Jeff?
I am absolutely wonderful. These are such exciting times, and yes, happy 4th of July to everyone.
Yes.
I think every now and then, since this is the voice of the Colorado Business Roundtable, we got to come in and talk a little bit about our status update, where we are, current state of play, types of events, initiatives, things that we're working on, our new partners, our board, committees, and all that great stuff. So this is an exciting time to give kind of a Colorado Business Roundtable update. So it's exciting times.
It is exciting times. We have had a lot on our plate as far as getting new partnerships, right? We also had some really cool events that we had happen. State of the State with Governor Polis was really exciting. We partnered with Civico to do that, formerly Quarterly Forum.
Yep.
They rebranded, and they were wonderful to work with on that event.
Great partners, and Governor Polis was fantastic. A really great opportunity, I think, in a very different format for us to really sit and chat with the governor and get to know a little bit about him, his background, his interest in public service, his previous life, selling businesses, starting business, creating things as an entrepreneur at 14, 15 years old, and by the time he was 20-something, already elected official and moving forward, and a chance to kind of move into the legislative session, talk about what his priorities are, even in some cases where he may not have totally disagreed with some of the bills that he was seeing, sometimes at bill signing, which is always unique, and people seem to forget that, but then really kind of understanding about when the power of the veto pen and why he signs some of the bills he signs, because he's got a broader coalition things that he's working on. I think the attendees appreciated kind of hearing some of the behind-the-scenes baseball, inside baseball, so to speak, right around that. So I thought that was awesome. Great event. And then our State of the State, right? We've got really 5 key signature events that we do for the Colorado Business Roundtable every year. State of the State, State of Higher Ed, probably, our fantastic one where we had a chance to honor and celebrate Bruce Benson, the CU president, and his outgoing terms of service. Welcome Angie Paggioni, the new State of Department of Higher Ed.
Who is amazing, by the way. She has joined us on the show a couple times, actually, once through Colorado Workforce Development Council, which is one of another great partner that we have. But she is a firecracker, and I thoroughly enjoyed her presentation.
Teacher and a basketball coach, which is fantastic, right? And it's kind of approaching, and a business coach, right? And so understands kind of business, the landscape, education, kind of comes in with that background, really trying to figure out how we energize, mobilize, connect, learning and education to business, really focus on that classroom to career connection that we're hearing about. Universities like MSU Denver that really started that C2 hub that they're calling it, really focusing on, ensuring that their students, when they leave their institution, are prepared, ready to hit the ground running and enter the workforce, which obviously helps us in the business side, being, prepared, trained, ready to be able to innovate, create, and be really high-producing employees for the companies, which helps us grow, and it's a good win for everybody. So we're excited about that. Especially, you don't want to saddle students with debt and bring them out of the workforce.
You don't?
No, especially when there's so much, understanding around the value of higher education right now and the importance of the degrees and credentials. It's so critical, but let's make sure it's relevant and tied to meaningful issues. And certainly, I think a little more forward thinking is really what we're hearing, being more nimble and agile, really focusing on future of work, jobs of the future, what's happening with automation, augmentation, AI, changing face of the workforce. And I think universities are coming around to understanding while liberal studies and focusing on those fundamental employability skills are important, right, there's also that understanding of giving them the tools and the technical things that they need to be successful. So these have been great events. We're excited about that. And we've, of course, been focusing on some major Colorado Business Roundtable initiatives. I've gotten some great new partnerships, our board, new committee structures that we've implemented from our roundtable. So just great times.
It is great times. I actually want to get into it with you a little bit. Let's talk about the board update, right? So we've had the board for about a year now, and we have some great people on that board, by the way. I know that we've got Chris Schmidt from Deloitte's on the board, Becky Takeda Tinker from CSU Global is on the board, Chris Jensen from Chase is on the board.
JP Morgan Chase, obviously chaired by Roberta Robinette, president of AT&T. You've got Dave Eddy from Boeing on there, Lockheed Martin, Jacobs Engineering, IBM. We could keep going. It's just an incredible board. I think probably hands down the best board in Colorado, whether it's a nonprofit or a chamber trade association board of directors. Colorado Business Roundtable has the best and brightest. Period. And it's exciting. We've actually gone and increased the size of our board. There's a lot of demand for the Colorado Business Roundtable, and those board seats we added at 15. They're all filled, and so the board at our last board meeting approved raising that to 25, and so we're in the process of starting to kind of identify some of those targets, talk about some of the people that have expressed interest, and start to be able to move additional board members to our board of directors for consideration. So it's such an exciting time.
It really is. So you mentioned that you've got some committees now. So tell me about that structure. What kind of committees are we looking at more in the future? Tell me more about that.
Yeah, I think this is, Gail Denninger, obviously, who founded the Colorado Business Roundtable in 2001, has always had this idea, even though we represent America's largest employees, right? We are the face of corporate America here in Colorado at the Colorado Business Roundtable. Certainly a lot of the Fortune 200s that play here are part of our network. Most of them are on the board of directors. Several of them that are key partners, even if they're not on our board. But there's a lot of work that happens right in our verticals, right? Our Colorado GDP is so diverse. We are not a one-trick pony anymore. This is not a boom-bust oil gas town. The diversification of our economy, when you start looking at financial services and the medical space, health services, you start thinking about this explosion of the tech sector. Everybody knows about aerospace, certainly our manufacturing that continues to grow. And so it's really an understanding of how we can help connect, support the ecosystem right around these important verticals and these industries that really help Colorado continue to grow and be such a desirable space, not only for families, but certainly employers and companies that continue to move here. So we've kind of looked at how can we engage with committees differently. There's some amazing partners of ours in the association space, that we want to continue to collaborate and align with. This is our committees of Colorado Business Roundtable aren't designed to be competition to force people to start to make choices, but it's really understanding of how all of these people can come together for common goals and interests and still maintain their own identity and their own focus. There's stuff that happens outside the lanes, things that they're not necessarily equipped to handle from a resource, from a marketing, from a branding, bandwidth. And so we really look at this idea of starting these committees around coalescing, creating common language and voice, common shared initiatives that we can work on that aren't duplicative in nature, that really focus on those hidden gaps, some opportunities that can advance the needle. And so the board approved 2 pilot committees, energy and the environment, and then our Education and Workforce Committee. Certainly everybody knows the education and workforce is becoming a top priority of employers. Certainly the Business Roundtable, representing, again, corporate America, being front and center of that face about the demand for human capital and this focus on, the talent pool that's out there, remaining competitive, keeping and retaining talent, the best and brightest. And so Becky Takeda Tinker, president of CSU Global, is chairing that committee. Committee members on there include Phil Galen, CEO of Pinnacle, Ray Johnson from IBM, Scott Hughes from Apple, who's of course on our board, Rebecca Kirsting from Cap Logistics, and News Pros that are there. So it's an incredible committee. They really are focused on working with those other partners. We've had some meetings already with workforce development, with Angie and her team over there at Department of Higher Ed, with Joe Garcia, Joe Barella at Labor, really talking about how we can start to fill in work support efforts. Maybe there's a mapping activity that needs to happen, right? Looking at some of these great partners like Colorado Succeeds, like Epic, like Ready Nation. They're already focused on CEI is another group, Colorado Education Initiative. What are they all doing? What are the opportunities? Where there's overlap, and where are we underserving certain key initiatives that maybe we need to refocus on? And so those will be the goals. We're so happy to have, obviously, I think one of the best and brightest with Dr. Becky Takeda Tinker, president of CSU Global, chairing that committee, because I think she brings such an incredible depth of knowledge and understanding in her background a person that really sees opportunities, understands how to take advantage of those, and her work in sharing that is going to be fantastic, and it'll serve an important role for us at the Business Roundtable, certainly for the companies that we represent and our partners at the Business Roundtable. But I also think it'll be a valuable service for others outside of that, or that are focusing on some of these similar areas, to be able to say that's incredible to have another partner to strengthen the partnerships, to relationships, to be able to work together on some of these things, or be able to continue to do what they're doing and look for alignment, collaboration with other groups and move forward. So exciting. The other committee, of course, is our Energy and the Environment, chaired by none other than Peter Moore. Many that listen to our show on a regular basis have heard Peter and his role is vital for Colorado. Peter's been running Vital for years now. That brings so much experience. He built that coalition at Vital, started and hoped the goal that he could get about 2,500 signatories on the Vital Pledge, the 7-point pledge. I think there are over 90,000 people now, and so his work not only with coalitions, with industry, with business leaders, community leaders, and building a coalition to say why energy is so important, and changing really the face of that to say all energy is important for Colorado. Good, sound energy policy makes sense, and all of the above space. How do we support energy development, put Colorado out in front of that face, is already widely known, but now bringing him in, putting him as kind of the face of obviously this Energy and the Environment Committee, letting him bring those connections that he has, not only with those leaders, but obviously with oil gas companies and others in the energy space and the renewables, whether it's wind or solar. Outside of that will be fantastic. Brian Kane from Extraction, and board member as well, is helping him on that committee to help lead that. So we're delighted about those committees and what they're going to do. And yes, you kind of said, well, there'll be more. And so at one of our upcoming board meetings, we're going to make a presentation to the board for another 2 or 3 committees that we're going to look at bringing forward. So,
can you tell me any secrets on that?
Yeah.
All right, we'll wait for another update from you to fully hone in on that. While we're here, there was one thing that you kept mentioning through both of those committees are the partnerships that are very important to the Colorado Business Roundtable. And I have to say that this year we've had a plethora of renewing partnerships, right? And so we've had several partners that we've had for years, and they don't hesitate to re-up their partnership with us. But we've also had some new players at the table. For example, I know we just announced that OEDIT is, and that's the Colorado Office of Economic Development and International Trade.
Good job.
Thank you. Yeah, I've had to write that one down a few times. But that one is our most recent partnership that we've just announced, and that was really exciting.
I just announced that last week. It's such an incredible partnership. Betsy Markey, obviously running the Office of OEDIT, appointed by Governor Polis, a brilliant choice. Someone who's been a congresswoman, someone who's been in business and industry, such a great talent, and somebody that we have built such a great relationship with on the Business Roundtable side. And that office, right? They're out there, they're talking about international trade, and obviously international engagement is one of the key pillars of the Business Roundtable. We tell people all the time, it's very hard to become a global company without expanding those borders and your reach and understanding where the wealth and population bases are, which are outside of our country. What do they say? About 95% of the population base, 87% of the purchasing power is outside of our borders. So important to be able to continue to engage internationally, support economic development, not only attracting, right, but also retaining and helping companies grow. And so it's a great partnership. It's a natural fit. We're excited to have announced that. But several others, Colorado Farm Bureau, COGA, Colorado Oil Gas Association, CPC, Colorado Petroleum Council. I know you had their new director on air within the last couple of weeks as well. And so great partnerships with them. We're just excited. As you mentioned, so many other great partners. And you look at folks like Integrated Delivery, Excel, people that have been part of this organization, Cap Logistics, CSU Global, small companies, not fortune companies, that understand that value, developmental pathways. You get into some of the energy companies like XTO, Conoco, and others like that have been a part of this network, and our aerospace partners in Boeing and Lockheed Martin, financial services partners, Bank of Colorado, First Bank, JP Morgan. We just got such a great list of people that really allow us to do what we do. And that's really the value of the partnerships. They step up each and every day and say, we want to support your efforts. Thank you for what you guys are doing. You're focusing on those key areas that help us continue to grow, help us, allow us to put the blinders on, stay in our lane, focus on the things that we want to do in delivering products and services to our customers, where you guys are handling a lot of the policy issues. And that's really what the importance of those relationships. And we know it helps us. It strengthens us. They add such depth, such value, such excitement, such enthusiasm. They're incredible, not only in what they do in their own subject matter expertise in their own fields, but they're so well-rounded and so community-minded and collaborative by nature that it helps us be better. And we're so thankful for all those partnerships, new, ongoing renewals, and then all those that we're going to be talking to and bringing in the fold. We'll have several more to come. So.
Yes, exciting stuff. I like that you keep me hanging on for more information.
Oh, yeah. I got to keep people guessing. I heard that's good in radio, I heard. I
probably.
don't know. Yeah, sure.
Stay
Something
tuned,
like that.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
So we've talked about the great partnerships that we've got going on. I know that we mentioned the board update, which is amazing. One of the things I definitely want to hone in on here is how to partner with the Colorado Business Roundtable, because we have
just
several
different
big checks, right? $50,000. It's just a $50,000 check. Yeah. We'll take it.
Or $250,000.
Yeah.
Or, sure.
While we're at it.
Okay, great.
Yeah. But that being said, we have several different packages and ways to partner with the Colorado Business Roundtable. And I know that we've got some awesome names. You know, you mentioned IBM. AT&T is one of our bigger partners, right?
And love our partnership with AT&T. We'll start congressional conference call and the work that Roberta and Chris and their team over there do each and every day. They're great partners, and of course, Roberta being our board chair, that they've made that commitment to the Colorado Business Roundtable. We're so thankful for. We've also had several people up their partnerships and engagement with us. But we have several different tiers, right, that we represent. It's really about where you want to come in, the engagement level, investments you want to make the time. Several of the events that we work on, right, or host on behalf of our partners, right, and that's part of that level that you can come in. I know we're working on one, and we're going to get more into the events in the second segment in there, but we'll have an event with First Bank coming up, right, as their partnership. We certainly just hosted one with MSU Denver with Vicente Fox as part of their partnership, and so that's certainly some of the things that we can do to kind of convene the right kind of people that you want to get out in front, your messaging, certainly your sponsorship and logoing and branding and all those things that go with that. Chance to come on this amazing radio show and spend time with you, Alex, which is an incredible honor and like the highlight of your day.
Always.
Of course, which is great. And so many other benefits, right? And so different structures, opportunities. We have different tiers. We want to make sure, the proverbial membership have its privilege. We're putting people in the right segment, the right place, but also having opportunities for anybody and everybody. Any listener that's out there that's interested in understanding what we're doing, our events, getting our newsletter, those things can sign up. No cost to do that. Subscribe on our website right now today. You'll be added to our lists and send information about upcoming events that are available to our broader membership, the general public writ large. Then we have our ABCG group, so academia, business, community, and government. It's kind of catchy, fun way to say that, but, we work with so many partners in education, so many business partners, associations, chamber world, certainly our community-based groups and the nonprofit NGOs, and then our government groups. We just mentioned OEDA, but so many partnerships with city, county governments across the state, offices of economic development that we really focus on, and so it's a great opportunity. That's really, who we put with our congressional conference calls and those types of things. Our tier 2 is certainly our financial contributors, whether it's as partners of the Colorado Business Roundtable or then even event sponsorship, right? And we have several events where people really just want to sponsor because they know who's in that room, they know who's coming to our events, they want to get out in front. We actually this year had a sponsorship for View from the Top before we even announced View from the Top. It's like we know it's coming, we want to be involved in that, which we love, and we thank them and others that'll come on board for that. We'll be announcing and talking a little bit more about View in the second segment, but it's fantastic. And then, of course, Tier 1 is our Business Roundtable companies that have a footprint here in Colorado. And so there's some exclusivity to those types of events and levels and tiers based on where you are. But we want to make sure everybody has a chance to plug in, hear about the kind of exciting work that we're doing. why the value of being a part of the Colorado Business Network is there. When you talk about renewers and people upping their investment level as partners of ours, it's because of the work we're doing, the successes we're having, and again, who you get to meet, the types of things we get to talk about. Just last week, we relaunched the Colorado Compact, such an important event that we had as we talked about immigration reform, an incredible event with elected officials, certainly an incredible business panel that included the Farm Bureau, included Kelly Ruff at the Denver Metro Chamber, another great partner and leader here in the state of Colorado, Ted Leidy at Home Builders. Well, these things matter to people, not only to your communities, to your future of work, to being able to deliver, again, those products and services, but it's diversity of thought. It's really trying to get the best and brightest talent that businesses are looking for, being innovative, being able to grow, continue to do that, and having the kind of immigration policies that allow business to be able to do that. And so immigration has certainly been a key area. We focus on an incredible event. We've been working tirelessly on USMCA, United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, some incredible partners that we have not only with D.C. and the White House, with our mothership, the Business Roundtable, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, and NAM, that are really leading the three kind of coalitions back there, from the legislative coalition to the grassroots coalition to the social media groups, right? And each one of those organizations helping lead and drive those efforts. Trade is so critical. It's that international engagement, growing, expanding your market. Our neighbors to the north and south, Mexico and Canada, are our two largest trading partners.
Our number one and number two trading partners.
And it's important to get this deal done. And so we're working on behalf of the business community here in Colorado to work on that Export-Import Bank, something that we're continuing to work with. And people may have heard that because every 2-3 years we're back and saying we need to reauthorize XM Bank. Talking about healthcare and healthcare delivery, Cadillac tax, the HIT tax, and many people have talked about that, seen our op-eds and work around that. Certainly infrastructure, and I know it's an area that's taking hold, and a lot of discussions nationally. Those here in Colorado have certainly heard a lot about transportation and transportation funding, knowing that we just had 2 ballot proposals last November.
Yeah.
Neither of those were successful. It's a Colorado issue, but it's also a national issue, and something that obviously the Business Roundtable and chambers and others are really focusing on. We need to take care of not only roads, right? And people think infrastructure roads, but there's so much more beyond that we have to look at in our crumbling infrastructure, maintaining that health, the safety, productivity of our companies and business and workforce, quality of life issues that are so critical. And so, you drive around the state, you spend more time in traffic today. You're probably hitting more potholes. The cost per mile, the cost to you and your family each and every year continues to grow based on our inability to come up with a pragmatic, thoughtful solution. There'll be some ballot questions coming up this year. Certainly worked on Initiative 300 with Tammy Dorr at the Downtown Denver Partnership, some other great leaders shining a light on that. Been working, obviously, in the legislative arena, a lot more at the national level, which is our vein, but really supporting partners here in the state as well. The Family Medical Leave Act, the Ban the Box. There's so many other things that we've been addressing that we want to support our partners at the state chamber and the Denver chamber and the association space. And so, that's really the value of not only being part of the network, the who's, being able to rub shoulders with some of the Colorado's best and brightest, whether they're on your board, attending our events, but really the work of the roundtable and driving some of these key initiatives and helping lead that from our space, or supporting so many other great leaders in the organization chamber world that take the lead on more of those state and local initiatives. And it's been a great symbiotic relationship for us to kind of take the lead on a lot more of the big federal and regional international issues, and then allow our great partners to kind of drive the agenda here in the state. We don't have those lobbyists. We don't have those teams that they have on some of the state issues, but we want to be engaged. We want to continue to partner, to lend our name, our voice, our leadership on those key issues that impact Coloradans, as well as what happens back in D.C.
Yes, very well said. As you know,
What did you say that again?
Very well said.
Oh.
Yes. We are always looking for partnerships, so be sure to check out COBRT.com. You can sign up for the newsletter to find out what arenas might apply to your company, your organization. Reach out to Jeff Wasden specifically. You can find an email to contact us on our contact page, so be sure to do that. Also, check out this podcast and more at COBRT.com/radio-podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe our YouTube page while you're here. We'll be right back to talk about some COBRT events. Stay with us.
Love that. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome back to Connect and Collaborate. Once again, I'm Alex Hopkins, your on-air producer, and we are talking Colorado Business Roundtable here
All
with
things COBRT.
all things COBRT.
The COBRT Hour.
With the woot woot guy.
Whoop, whoop. We are
Jeff
here. It's
Wasden.
exciting. And thanks for staying with us. This is such a great time to talk and obviously jump into so many initiatives in our committees and our board and some great partnerships. And it's been exciting. These are busy, busy times for us.
Yes. Well, speaking of busy times, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing. We know the initiatives that we focus on. We know how to partner now. What are you doing? Where are you getting your face out? Who are you connecting with?
There's a lot of great things that we're also involved in. There's things that we're helping lead and drive, and initiatives are ours, but there's also things where we're lending our voice. Fix the Debt is something that the Colorado Business Roundtable has been involved in. The National Coalition for Career Development. We've got our upcoming advisory meeting in D.C. talking again about education development pathways and focusing again on that education workforce, i.e. our committee and the work of the roundtable in that space. Western Pathways, which is again really kind of a incredible partnerships. We just had our conference in Portland. So excited, we took that Southwest Pathways that was happening in Arizona, New Mexico, and moved that to the Western Pathways. Hosted the first conference here in Denver, then went to Utah, then to Portland with Governor Brown. Had several governors attending, some incredible companies and partnerships as we business engagement, education, pathways, focusing on that future, making sure that people realize while colleges and four-year degrees are incredible and it's necessary and so many jobs of the future will require some kind of higher ed, skills, training, certification, degree program. We know there's a lot of other opportunities for folks that don't take to sitting in a classroom, that are ready to jump in, that have an interest in the trades, and how important that is to make sure that we've got folks that are electricians and carpentry and plumbers. The construction industry will tell you each and every day the demand, the number of jobs that they're pushing off or can't take because of the dearth or lack of trained employees in there. And so pathways are critically important. United States Global's Leader Coalition, and I'm excited to be on that board. We just had our convening back in D.C. Select USA with Office of Economic Development and International Trade, talking about Colorado and so many other great partners that were there. So, we're involved and very active on that. And, and then we're excited to host a lot of our own events. And, we do an incredible job really of trying to put on events, not for event's sake, not necessarily for networking, although a lot of that happens in those, business leads and developments, things that come, but we want to grow those organically. Our events really focus on key initiatives and things that we're focusing on, driving the kind of the right leadership, the right folks there that really can put a face on these types of issues and move them forward. And so when you hear things like an immigration relaunch, right? Was there networking? Sure. Was there opportunity for business leaders to connect and talk about what they're doing, exchange business cards? Absolutely, but focused on why immigration matters. We try and do that with all of our events. We've got several events coming up. View from the Top, Public Lands, XM Bank, an event with CTA, our awards, our event we're doing with First Bank, one of our partners. And so we want all those to be focused, right, on areas that are important to business, that will be helpful, education driven and focused, to really help folks not only understand what's happening, but really to help us as we continue to advocate on their behalf. What we learn from our attendees is just as important.
Absolutely. And I want to get into specifics of those events. But before I do that, it's not just you running these events, right? It's not just you and Gail out there tackling.
For sure. Yeah. Cooking, cleaning, setting
doing
them up.
All the things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No. And anybody that's attended any of our event would know that would not be anywhere close and probably would never come to a COBRT event if it was Jeff doing all that. Certainly the cooking part of that. We've had some great food and catering, and people would know that would not be this guy up there doing that. I don't think people realize, unless you plan events, how much goes into that when you start thinking about logistics and, lighting, the room setup, registration links, price points, contacting the venue, getting there, the setups, the cleanup. When you start thinking about all of the run of shows, details. The agendas, right? Who's on there, the panelists, the arrive time, the prepping, the moderators, getting the bios, getting the program set, advertising,
make sure
marketing.
The sound is good.
You could, it just goes on and on.
There.
And so, I do all that.
Yeah.
I mean, with an incredible team.
Exactly.
With an incredible team.
I would like to highlight your team a little bit.
Well, it starts with Lisa Gregg, and
Yes.
many that get her emails will understand how important Lisa is to the Colorado Business Roundtable and everything we do. She does our newsletter for us, and everybody knows that. Sends out a lot of emails, and people see that. But she's also point on the logistics end and helping on the operations of the Colorado Business Roundtable. You know, she really came in to really be our partnership director and an outreach person there. She's got such a great skill set and talent that she's really kind of moved into more of an operations while she's still doing partnerships and newsletters. She's really the front person for so many of the events that we put on that people will start to see from the registration, but not realizing that countless hours she put into before that even started. This whole radio show and our radio team and what you do on the social media and the marketing, not only on the social side, but certainly bringing guests in and talking about promoting events. Tim, Keenan, and Alex, names that people may not see but are so important to this. When you look at graphics and the videography, the photography, capturing the events, the sound, the setups, and everything that they do there. Annette and Larita and others that help right on the on-site registrations. So many incredible people have been a part of putting on a COBRT event, and so we're honored to have that team that really supports that lends that hopes, and on our side, from what our attendees hope, that it's not Jeff by himself, that things are well ran, that they're organized, that they're quality, that the food's great, that the experience is great, and then just as important to me, what's on my side, that the content and the delivery and the things that you get by attending is equally as good as all the other background stuff that happens. So,
absolutely, and
love our team.
It should be noted that Tim, Keenan, and Alex are part of Icosa Media, and Annette and Larita are part of News Professional Services. And so, while we are happy to partner with COBRT, we are our own entities as well.
And while I just want it to all be, it's people, right? It's Jeff, and I keep trying to bring you in and dominate your time and effort because, people know I need help, right? But you guys do an incredible job. And yes, you're certainly the radio show and your work here supporting, but there's so many other folks on this show that aren't COBRT partners as you continue to talk about so many exciting business developments and opportunities and events that go on. Tim, Keenan, and Alex and the work they do, again, at Icosa Media, they're the background support that you don't see putting on this show. They're going to edit and make this sound amazing. People are going to go, that Jeff is really smart. And I'll be like, yes, because I cleaned it out and all the ands and ums and hums and coughing. And, no one he gets to hear that because of the great work. You go to an event and you get the photo logs that come afterwards, and they're all Photoshop. We look glamorous and great, and it's because of their work and their experience and creativity and passion and expertise around that. We love that, and they do such an incredible job. And so people that want to engage or hire them, it's a third-party separate entity. But, just get behind COBRT in line there. Maybe,
number one
maybe
client. So let's do talk specifics about these events. I want to step back a little bit and talk about a few past events that we had. We mentioned it in the last segment, the state of the state and the state of higher education. Both events now signature, the State of Higher Education, that was our second annual event that we had, and then this was the first year for State of the State, but we are hoping moving forward that this is going to be a part of our agenda. Yeah,
we really wanted to have 5 key signature events that we know each and every year, and not just as importantly for us, our attendees are really key contributors as far as the content and folks that are involved in the program, from the governor, in that case, our higher ed leaders. That's interesting time for State of the Higher Ed, right? Those that were at that event and know who was there. Obviously, Chancellor Rebecca Chop has stepped down because of some health reasons. President Tony Frank at CSU is changing his role. We'll have a brand new president there. We have DU just announced their new president. And then certainly with Bruce Benson stepping down at CU, they have a new president as well. And so, Janine Davidson, incredible president at MSU. Denver, is like the senior leader now, and she's like, I've been here a couple of years. What just happened, right? And so next year's event, we look forward to continuing to host that and bringing forth these new presidents and chancellors of these incredible institutions of higher ed here in Colorado. Our State of the State, of course, with the governor, went later this year. We'd really like that to be earlier. kicking off the year, but scheduling and time, and then you get into the lead session, and we thought, let's just push it back another month. Trying to do it in the middle of the session without really being able to talk about some of the bills didn't make a lot of sense. Our third key signature annual event, the Colorado Business Roundtable, is View from the Top.
Yes,
that
one
is
of my
upcoming.
favorites.
It's such a
one of my favorites.
I think it goes without saying that we have incredible network and leaders that we get to deal with each and every day, the companies and our board and folks that we deal with. But View from the Top really gives you that inside look, a chance to really learn from and hear. Denver Business Journal has been such an incredible partner on the two previous views. Our first year View from the Top a couple years ago that was done with Jackie Hinman, the CEO of at that point, CH2M Hill, which has been bought out by Jacobs, who came year two.
Yeah.
John Hayes from Ball, Mike Fries from Liberty Global did an incredible job last year. Of course, I just mentioned Stephen Demidre from Jacobs, who purchased CH2M that was there. You had Denny Marie Post that came in there from Red Robin, who's no longer there. Pattern there. Jackie's gone. Denny Marie's gone now.
Is it our fault?
Our upcoming CEOs, don't say no, because you're worried about this may not be a great thing we're going there, but this year we've got some incredible CEOs. We've been working on the CEO of Remax, Adam Contos. We're so excited to have Adam on there, who committed and jumped at this opportunity, and Remax and their depth, but also kind of one of those key indicators about the Colorado economy and how people are feeling and working through that. We've been Molson Coors and how important they are in the history there. I was just actually talking with Pete Coors at an event at Canada Days that our partner, we haven't mentioned our partnership with Canada and the Consulate General, and such a key partner and contributor as well. And then our work we mentioned with USMCA, but they just celebrated their 15th year of being here in Denver as a consulate, but also in celebrating Canada Day. So it was a great celebration. Coors was there, Pete was there, talking to him about their new CEO and how important we are, and excited to have that there. And then we're bringing on a female energy exec, right? You certainly have had 112, you had Senate Bill 181. An opportunity to talk about challenges and opportunities, decision making, right? Challenges and how people view things in that leadership role in running companies. And so that view has been such an incredible time. Data will be September 16th. We believe it will be locked down and confirmed that it'll be at Mile High Station for the first time. We've had that at two different events. We've had it at History Colorado, had it at CU Denver South. Last year when Hick McErsek, CEO of Western Union, who was there and did such an incredible job. Headquartered BRT company CEO. So we're so honored to have Western Union and HICMIC part of the Business Roundtable nationally. That third CEO last year, because they're headquartered further south, because Jacobs purchasing CH2M is further south, because Red Robin is south. CU Denver South jumped up. It was a great venue for that. But this year we'll be back north. And we wanted to do it at History Colorado again, I'll be honest, because they have the history of beer. And we have Molson Coors there on the CEO panel. It made perfect sense, but evidently somebody beat us to it, and we lost the date, and so we're going to be moving that probably to Mile High Station. Stay tuned. There's an opportunity for you to engage with all these events. There's a link right on our website that you can click on with events and hear that. So we're so excited about that signature event. The other two signature events, of course, are our legislative reception. Hard to believe we're going on our 6th annual legislative reception. Just amazing to see how fast time has flown. And then our awards, which will be moving into our 3rd awards. We've had some incredible...
Now that one is that's an all hands on deck event that we do every year at the beginning of December, and that there's a lot that goes into that. But I think it's such a fun event. Everybody really enjoys what we do for that event. We don't have a speaker quite yet, but we might have a theme for this year.
Yeah, we're really focusing on growth, right, and opportunity in that space about what we're looking at and how that continues to move, and we focus on companies doing well. But that, the awards, just think about the awards. You said all hands on deck, made by Community College of Denver at the Advanced Center for Manufacturing. Those awards are becoming sought after. I mean, they are becoming their own little, Oscar type thing if you've got a Colorado Business Roundtable awards at the end of the year. So we're excited about that that partnership, but we really celebrate 13 different key industries and their leaders and champions, collaborators, and what they do for Colorado, for this landscape, for the workforce, and be able to continue to provide such great jobs, right? And that's really what it's about: growth, jobs, opportunities, the dignity of work, putting people back to work, helping people realize their potential, contribute. And so it's a great celebration. But we've got a lot of other upcoming events. This month we're hosting an XM Bank event, Export-Import Bank. For those that aren't familiar with XM, it's really a great opportunity for those that want to expand that market share, international engagement, growing their business and exporting products, and having that government secure and the loans and opportunities to get that financing that's so important as you continue to push products and have to make those capital investments and things that are so important for you to be able to enter into that market and space. And so through the backing of Treasury, that has been an important component for not only businesses across the country, but certainly numerous Colorado businesses that take advantage of that government-backed financing through Export-Import Bank. It's up for reauthorization. We've got an event on July 31st. Stay tuned. Check our website out for more information, but that's an event coming up literally this month. We've got several events in August. Exciting events coming up. We've got a partner event with Colorado Technology Association. Franny, who's chairing that, is just a delight, and it's such a jewel. But our partnership with CTA, we're bringing in Gary Shapiro, who runs the Consumer Technology Association. Nationally, they put on the Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas. It, is the largest show in the world. It is an incredible opportunity to hear from him directly at a luncheon. Very exclusive limited engagement that will probably sell out within a day. Literally, and I'm not kidding. It's going to go quick, so we're very excited about that. Then we're going to do a public lands event, fueling Colorado's public lands. There's been a lot of discussion about public lands, the usage of public lands. People don't realize when you put a trail through a public land, right, you're changing the usage. When you put boats, in motorized or not, right, paddle boards, canoes, kayaks into a lake, or jet skis or others into water, right, you're utilizing public lands. But there's also energy development, other things that go on in public lands. And we really talk about the balance being good stewards, leaving a better Colorado, how that all fits in. So Betsy Markey, we've talked about already from OEDIT. She'll be helping lead and some initial remarks about Colorado and its importance, again, about that industry, what it looks like as Colorado's become quite a magnet for outdoor rec. Segue here. So outdoor recreation will be involved in that. The Outdoor Industry Association, which moved their whole entire trade show from Utah on a debate and some differences of opinions on public lands. If you see a theme coming here, and then Western Energy Alliance, that'll be talking about their role in utilization of public lands as well. So it's going to be a fascinating event. I'm tickled pink. I'm nervous, right? Because there's controversy around there, but I think we need to be able to, as leaders, put forth these events and show folks that people can have rational, sound, pragmatic, thoughtful discussions, right, in that Overton window that people look at, in the lens that people see things, and everybody looks at things very differently. Everybody sees things through a very different lens or window, and we really want to be able to say, this is what's happening, have those discussions, get a better understanding of people's viewpoints and why it's important. And so that's going to be an incredible event. We teed up a little bit about partner events and benefits of partnership earlier. So our partnership with First Bank, they're going to be doing an event in September, which should be exciting as we talk about how we talk about banking and cyber. And cyber is such a critical area that everybody's now a tech company. Everybody's got to worry about cyber. Those are those key issues and the security risk around that. Not only from an employee standpoint, but certainly from a consumer standpoint as well, and protecting, right, all of the access to data and privacy that goes into that. And so banking, I think people like to know their investments are sound and secure, and people that have those interests, and what individual institutions and organizations are doing to ensure that. And so First Bank's been a great partner of the Colorado Business Roundtable. In September, we'll be doing an event with theirs, and we're excited. And as Lisa likes to say, and because it's Jeff, that's just a start. There will be many more that will be added.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't say no that often. So yes, people that have these wonderful ideas about, hey, Jeff, would you like to partner on stuff, generally get a yes if it fits in. And I know that's been really a key thing about our board of directors that are really saying, how does it fit in with our board priorities and our initiatives? Is it our bandwidth? Does it fit in that lens about it, supporting partners and development and business in the key areas that we focus in? So, since I sometimes can't say no, we've got a great board that will help keep me honed in there if necessary. But we're excited not only for these upcoming events, but others that will be added throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah. Jeff, we have a few minutes left here. And first of all, thank you so much for the update on Colorado Business Roundtable, because it's exciting. We are in a great space right now, and all we're doing is moving forward and making better partnerships and making a better Colorado overall. Yeah. I truly believe that, not just because I get paid, but I truly believe that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That helps too.
But I have to ask you, I'm going to get personal here with you. One of the things that I have always seen since I started here, I started as an intern. People may or may not know that. So I was doing the silly things, right? I was getting the coffee and all of that.
I know you don't do that for me anymore. I'm very disappointed.
I stepped up my game.
All right. That's good for you.
But one thing that I've always seen from you is your passion for getting things done. You're not a dreamer that has all these plans that don't get finished. You actually you're a doer. You get things made, you get things done, you get partnerships put together. I want to ask you, why have such passion for this? Why aren't you in politics?
Well, we are all day, but just on a different level, right? And I think that people understand, and we've really talked about that. And I think you're going to have some upcoming shows with, our engagement in the political spectrum. Policy, not politics, is a tagline we use, right? And talking about that, we don't have a PAC, we don't endorse candidates, right? But we're involved in those policies each and every day. That, oh, by the way, elections matter. Elections have consequences. It's important. We've done Election Watch. We did the gubernatorial series. We hosted the governor forums. It's important for us to ensure that we're engaging, because our relationships with those elected officials matters, and it's important to us. But we're impacting things very differently, and not for running for office, not holding an elected position, but how we work with those elected officials, and it's a very different area. We get the opportunity to do a lot, to partner with so many great people that really put themselves out there, and I can't thank our elected officials enough. When we're going down to school boards and planning commissions, all the way up into city councils, getting onto our state legislators, our congressional delegation. Of course, I think maybe there's a presidential election we're going to hear a little bit about here coming up. Maybe like 2024 now, maybe 70, 80, a couple hundred candidates that may jump into that race. We want to make sure that we're providing the education around those candidates in that space, so people understand who they are, their views on business. Are they business friendly? Will they support? Will they listen to us? Do they understand the issues that are important to business leaders in growing business? And that's just been a passion, right? I did hold elected office earlier. I was elected as president of the Colorado Business Roundtable. Is that an office? Did people vote for me, or maybe I wouldn't be here today?
It was the one person.
Maybe
it was you. You voted for you.
I won. That's great. President of the Highlands Ranch Community Association. These president roles all blur together, but it was so great serving HRCA in so many great capacities on there as delegates and future facilities in the board, and then serving as board president for years there, and hosting that, and having to run for election every couple of years, and understanding what that aspect looks like. I get asked a lot, are you going to run? And right now I'm having the time of my life. I've got the best job anywhere, including the governor on down. This is truly a great opportunity. The people we get to work with, not only from a staff level, but our boards and our partners and our elected officials, and really make a difference. As you said, get things done, finish projects, start stuff, start things, work on key initiatives, really drive an agenda forth that impacts people. This is real stuff we do each and every day that impacts the life of Coloradoans, and putting more people back to work. And then we can't stress that enough. More and more people. The Business Roundtable companies employ, 17, 18 million folks, and we tell them having policies that allow these companies to put another million Americans back to work matters to those folks that are out there looking for work today. It matters to people that are looking to reskill, they're looking to upskill, they're looking for upward mobility and advancements, they're looking for new opportunities to share their passion, their growth, their expertise. And that's what we're trying to do here. Level that playing field, level the landscape, reduce the regulatory hurdles and burdens on business, allow them to flourish, allow them to grow. And it drives us each and every day. I think people that know us, and drives us all day, all night, weekends, some holidays, we stay busy at this, but we take it seriously, and we're honored to be doing this on behalf of Coloradans and Colorado business leaders.
Oh, 100%. Thank you so much, Jeff. This was enlightening. I always appreciate your time in here.
Well, thanks for your work. Let's throw this back at you. You are the voice of the Colorado Business Roundtable, and thank you for putting this show together on behalf of the Colorado Business Roundtable and COBRT and your work, and you do an incredible job in being able to bring our guests on and then other guests to talk about this as well. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I'm gonna deflate my ego off air here.
Okay, great.
Once again, please be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube page while you're here, and definitely visit COBRT.com, sign up for the newsletter, check out our events page, and definitely check out our radio podcast page. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody.